The greater our knowledge increases, the more our ignorance unfolds. The supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of this planet. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. Our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. The human mind is our fundamental resource. Victory has 1,000 fathers, but defeat is an orphan. A child miseducated is a child lost. Our problems are man-made, therefore they can be solved by man. No problem of human destiny is beyond human beings. Let us think of education as the means of developing our greatest abilities, because in each of us there is a private hope or dream wish fulfilled can be translated into benefit for everyone and greater strength for our nation. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. Mothers all want their sons to grow up, to be president, but they don't want them to become politicians in the process. Children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. The goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, quietly building new structures. We choose to go the moon in this decade and do the other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard, because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. It is an unfortunate fact that we can secure peace only by preparing for war. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. The great enemy of the truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Mankind must put an end to war before war puts an end to mankind. The margin is narrow, but the responsibility is clear. A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. Domestic policy can only defeat us. Foreign policy can kill us. Don't let it be forgot that once there was a spot for one brief, shining moment that was known as Camelot. There'll be great presidents again, but there will never be another Camelot. Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. Efforts and courage are not enough. Without purpose and direction, this country cannot afford to be materially rich and spiritually poor. If not us, who? If not now, when? We subject all facts to a prefabricated set of interpretations. We enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. World peace, like community peace, does not require that each man love his neighbor. It requires only that they live together with mutual tolerance, submitting their disputes to a just and peaceful settlement. The time to repair the roof is when the sun is shining. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through that darkness to a safe and sane future. Once you say you're going to settle for Second, that's what happens to you in life. The courage of life is often a less dramatic spectacle than the courage of a final moment, but it is no less a magnificent mixture of triumph and tragedy. There is always inequality in life. Some men are killed in a war, and some men are wounded, and some men never leave the country. Life isn't fair. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Do not pray for easy lives. Pray to be stronger men. Life is never easy. There is work to be done and obligations to be met, obligations to truth, to justice, and to liberty. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try. If we cannot end our differences, at least we can make the world safe. For diversity, we must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. The one unchangeable certainty is that nothing is unchangeable or certain. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past are certain to miss the future. Tolerance implies no lack of commitment to one's own beliefs. Rather, it condemns the oppression or persecution of others. This is one country. It has become one country because all of us and all the people who came here had an equal chance to develop their talents. The heart of the question is whether all Americans are to be afforded equal rights and equal opportunities, whether we are going to treat our fellow Americans as we want to be treated today. We are committed to a worldwide struggle to promote and protect the rights of all who wish to be free. It ought to be possible, in short, for every American to enjoy the privileges of being American without regard to his race or his color. Let us welcome controversial books and controversial authors, for the Bill of Rights is the guardian of our security as well as our liberty. In giving rights to others which belong to them, we give rights to ourselves and to our country. The ignorance of one voter in a democracy impairs the security of all. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The rights of every man are diminished. When the rights of one man are threatened, the problems of the world cannot possibly be solved by skeptics or cynics whose horizons are limited by the obvious realities. We need men who can dream of things that never were and ask why not. It is time for a new generation of leadership to cope with new problems and new opportunities. For there is a new world to be won. We must use time as a tool, not as a couch. Sure, it's a big job, but I don't know anyone who can do it better than I can. I would rather be accused of breaking precedents than breaking promises. There are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long range risks of comfortable inaction. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly. A man does what he must in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality. Things do not happen. Things are made to happen. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses.